Hello everybody, this is Ron DeBerto coming to you live from Rock and Shock Weekend here in Worcester, Massachusetts. I have the distinct pleasure of sitting here with one of the gentlemen from K&B Studios, Greg Nicotero. Greg, welcome.
Thank you.
What is it now? Is this your first time you've actually been here to Rock and Shock?
It is. I was invited last year, and we were shooting Grindhouse, and the scheduling didn't allow because we were shooting nights on that show.
Right.
But I've met Gina before, and you know, I get an opportunity to maybe do 2 or 3 of these shows a year.
Okay.
Because we're so busy, it's kind of hard to really pinpoint a time. But I was excited. To be invited. I'm happy to be here.
Now, as most of our viewers will probably know, you have K&B Studios has been involved with some of the most major motion pictures, everything from low-budget films to some of the most amazing movies today, like Grindhouse was one of your latest films.
Thank you. Yeah.
And the special effects in that were just this world. It's the only way you can explain it. Can you go into tell me like as far as film wise, what was the first feature film you folks actually did?
The first K&B movie was a film called Intruder.
Okay.
It was directed by Scott Spiegel, who wrote Evil Dead 2 with Sam Raimi.
Right.
And produced by Lawrence Bender, who went on to produce all of Quentin Tarantino's movies.
Okay.
So, hold on. Excuse me. It actually, it came about because of Evil Dead 2.
Right.
Scotty called us one night and said, listen, we're doing this film and I have no money. Can you recommend a couple kids that would build everything in their garage? And I said, well, we'll do it. It'll be an opportunity for us to get our first credit.
Right.
And we did a couple fake heads. I think we made like $2,000 on the whole movie.
Wow.
And that was February of 1988. So this February, Howard and I celebrate our 20-year anniversary. 20 years. And about 650 movies.
650 movies altogether.
Yes.
Because I saw one of my favorite films of yours, of course, is Evil Dead 2.
Yes.
And anybody who knows anything about the Evil Dead, working with Bruce Campbell, working with Sam Raimi, and working with Ted Raimi is just an absolute ball. What was the coolest thing for you working with Bruce and them?
Well, that whole experience was amazing. I mean, I think one of the best things about it was I had a video camera virtually glued to my shoulder the entire movie.
Okay.
And I documented the making of the film.
Right.
And so that really ingrained it into my brain. So I have really great memories of that movie. We had a tremendous amount of fun. And a lot of my footage is on the DVDs, and we did the commentary.
Right.
But it was just, there was an energy and an excitement about it. I mean, Sam was, I think, 26 years old. Everybody was under 30 that worked on that movie. We were all, I just worked with Sam on Spider-Man 3, and I said, yeah, we did. I said, Sam, you and I have known each other for 21 years because we met in 1986. And he was like, oh, my God, don't ever tell anybody that. I mean, it's just, it was a bunch of guys getting together, making a fun little horror movie. We all were on location in South Carolina, and it was really just like movie boot camp.
Now, is there any? Are you folks gonna be working on the new version? Because I guess there's a new Evil Dead movie that's coming out.
There's talk of it. I haven't really heard any 100% confirmation if there is or isn't. I actually talked to Bruce Campbell the other day, but again, I have mixed feelings about remakes.
Right.
I really
So
do. I mean, you can look at a movie like Hills Have Eyes,
right,
and see how they've, improved on the original subject material. Then you look at a remake like Dawn of the Dead, which, as far as I was concerned, it would have been an okay movie. They should have just called it something else.
Now, I've got one question that ends up coming up on a lot of times is, over here you got the book.
Yes.
The Evil Dead. How did you folks come up with the whole concept of that?
Well, actually, that was built and designed by Tom Sullivan, who did the special effects for the first movie. And then we made some additional books. So Tom was the one who drew
Can we grab that?
all the pages. Yeah, see, he sculpted the cover. This one is actually one of the stunt ones. It was the latex cover, and it's got all the pages in it.
Right.
So Tom Sullivan is a really, really good illustrator. He came up with all the symbols and all this kind of stuff.
Okay.
And then even on Army of Darkness, there's a the Necronomicon. It's very different. As far as I'm concerned, this is really kind of like
it's the best version. Yeah.
Yeah, it is the best.
Now the latest thing that you're working on right now is The Mist, which is a Stephen King novelization.
The Mist. You know, I've worked with Frank Darabont on The Green Mile. Frank and I have been best friends for years. So we designed all the creatures. I mean, you know, Frank's been slated to direct that movie for 12 years now. I mean, he had the story. And obviously, if you're going to look at guys who have adapted Stephen King's material, Frank Darabont has knocked it out of the park every single time. The movie's great. I'm really proud of it. You know, we designed all the creatures. I actually directed second unit, so I got to shoot a lot of the creature effect sequences myself.
Okay.
And it's a really powerful movie. I mean, the thing about Frank's films is they're always about the human condition and the human drama and emotion.
Okay.
In this movie, there just happens to be a lot of creatures and stuff that are peripheral to the story.
Right.
But the story really is about what these people go through and how, when all hope is lost, how they basically turn against each other. They don't band together. It's really, you know, it's a really powerful story about how people treat each other and how quickly society can degrade.
Well, it definitely sounds like a kind of movie I'm going to be watching because, honestly, I haven't missed a film yet of yours, so it's going to happen regardless.
Listen, it comes out November 21st.
Okay.
And we have Diary of the Dead coming out in February, from what I understand, which is the
George Romero. Yes.
Yeah, it was interesting. I had a different role in that film because we were shooting Grindhouse at that time.
Right.
And George and Peter Grunwald called and said, "Listen, we want you involved. I mean, your name has really become synonymous with George's in regards to zombie movies after Land of the Dead. People really, you, Tom Savini, and George Romero, people sort of group you guys together as the modern zombie guys."
Right.
So what we ended up doing was I handpicked a makeup effects crew in Toronto called Gaslight Studios, and I designed some of the makeups and then watched them execute everything and supervised it.
Well, I think what we're going to do here, we're making all sort of announcements, probably going to cut into us real soon here. This is Ron DeBerto. This is Greg Nicotero coming to you live from Rock and Shock Weekend, Worcester, Massachusetts. For further details, anybody wants to go on the website, check out next year's event, and hopefully you'll be here.
Great.
Check out rockandshock.com, and hopefully we'll see you next time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Greg. Appreciate it.
Take care.
Bye-bye.